What's going on, everybody? I'm Steven. Today we're going to do something a little different. We are going to compare the stock 2005 to 2009, 2010 Ford Radiator and the Mustang GT to the aftermarket, pretty much more expensive, probably in the realm of close to double the price of the stock one, Mishimoto performance radiator. We're going to look at the differences. We're going to look at how they can, weight differences, construction differences. We can look at the welds. We're going to check out the whole thing to find out is this a good choice for you to buy? Is it worth the extra money? Is there any differences that are going to make it a pain to install? Or does it bolt right up? Or are the mounting locations the same? Are you going to have to fabricate anything? We're going to go through all that, check it out, and find out if this is a good choice. So, follow me. I'm going to pull out the old broken one. We can look at the differences. Yeah, it'll be a little banged up, but it'll be a good comparison side by side. So let's check it out. Alright, got changed. My tap out stuff. Got some gloves. I just took the other radiator condenser and fan apart because in order to check the differences I need to have them apart. So what we're going to do now is a little unboxing so we can see what comes in the Mishimoto box, and then we will get to the comparison. So this is the box that it comes in. Looks pretty slick. Some good heavy duty cardboard. It's got a foam pad right on top. It looks pretty good. It looks bigger than the stock one if I'm just looking at it first glance. My fear with pulling this out is that I'm afraid that I'm going to bend the fins, which it's more of a visual thing, but let's see if I can do that quick. Hang on. And if you actually look, right, you can probably see them. There are a few spots that have slightly bent fins. It probably appears really white to you on the camera. Not a big deal. Looks pretty cool with the Mishimoto M in the middle of it. In the box, there is some sort of a packaging. I thought it was just that. There's an air freshener, it appears. I don't know. I wonder if it has any stickers or anything like that. We could tear this open really quick and check what's in here. Take a look. We get some sort of interesting, I guess that's a air freshener. I'm not even sure. It's sealed, so it probably is. I don't know if this is a manual or some sort of advertising. Looks like it's just a little advertising. If it goes over any specs in here. Tells other stuff that they offer. Pretty much a little ad. No big deal. What's this guy? Oh, look at that. Warranty. Actually goes over some insulation. I wonder if it is actually specific to this car. So they do have installation videos, it appears. They just want you to go ahead and, go on their website, which makes sense. Can't really offer a video in the packaging. So that's what it is. I don't know about that air freshener, but that's the look of the radiator, which I think looks pretty slick. The TIG welds on it are pretty sweet. I'm going to take this out of the packaging so we can take a look at that. So we'll be right back. Alright, we're out of the packaging now, and I'm going to try to get in really close to these TIG welds. They're not perfect. You can tell. Some of them look really clean. I'm not saying I can do any better. I'm just saying I have seen better, but they are pretty thick, and I'm sure they're strong. They look pretty good, I think. I guess I'm judging it from a artistic standpoint. I've seen some crazy stuff on videos and stuff, and these are decent. They're good. All the welders out there are going to yell at me. They're probably awesome. I know these are handmade, which would differ from the Ford ones in that pretty confident the Ford ones are made. They're just slamming them out fast as they can, whereas these are hand welded. They're actually serial numbered. They have a serial number here listed on it. So they are specifically itemized, if you will. So now we're gonna compare. We're gonna look at the specs of this, and we're gonna compare how it actually compares to the stock one. Now the stock one I have is all mangled from the accident, but it doesn't matter. It didn't lose any parts, so if we weigh it, it'll weigh like it did factory. I got all the liquid out of it, so that's not gonna add any weight to it. So I'm gonna give you those numbers in a second. I'm gonna throw this one on the scale and compare. All right, I just threw them on the scale, and I guess I misunderstood what I was looking at here. From what I understand, they're both aluminum. They're both, made from aluminum, and the reason I just assumed that it was lighter weight for the Mishimoto was because it was an aftermarket and it's a performance one, right? The reality is it's bigger. I think what I mean by bigger, I would say the width of it is bigger, and we'll measure that just to get an exact number, but the stock one weighed in and this is the stock one here, weighed in right at 9 pounds. You can see the warping in it. It's pretty beat up. 9 pounds. It uses a lot of plastic. A lot of plastic for its connectors. Whereas the Mishimoto is completely aluminum. So the whole thing, solid aluminum. The hose connector here is actually aluminum. This is just a rubber cover, which I didn't take off, but that's not going to add much weight. So the Mishimoto weighed in at 14 pounds. So about a 5-pound difference, 5-pound increase. Now here's where it gets tricky. The Mishimoto holds more liquid. It actually has a higher capacity, so it's not just 5 pounds. Whatever amount more that it holds, that is going to add to the weight as well. Is it much of a difference? Maybe not, but the reality is, that 5 pounds might become 10 pounds. So if weight is your biggest concern, if you don't have heat issues, that might be something you want to keep in mind. Construction-wise, I don't even see the welds on the factory Ford one. I mean, ugh. I'm not seeing welds anywhere. I'm not really sure, but I mean, it held up reasonably well in the accident. It is leaking a little bit, or it was leaking a little bit, but I don't know. I really like the clean welds, and I like the shiny aluminum. So now I'm going to get some measurements for you, just to do a comparison so we can see how they differ. Why is this one 5 pounds heavier dry? And from what I read, it's showing that it has 25% more cooling capacity is what American Muscle labeled it as. What does that mean? Well, I then read the reviews because obviously I don't have it installed, so I can't give you an actual real-world example, but I can. Because the reviews were people who put them in your car, and these aren't stock cars. Some of them are twin-turboed and pro-charged, and they had issues with their engines heat-soaking, and there were some listings there that one of the guys pro-charged his car, and he had to keep stopping because his engine would get so hot, and he didn't want to damage his engine, and so he switched to this radiator, and he actually wore out other parts before his car overheated. He actually never got his car to overheat. He tore through his brakes and some other things before he had any issues with heat. That right there shows, that it seems to be doing its job. And then some other people showed temperature differences. So one of the guys was running at 230 degrees Fahrenheit, and then he showed with the Mishimoto doing the same amount of style driving and time that he got it down to 200. That's pretty awesome. So and it stuck at 200, so it held, which is awesome. So it seems like it clearly is going to. And I mean, out of 5 stars, I think there's hundreds of reviews, and they're right at 4.5 or something like that. So that's pretty good. The price for an aftermarket stock replacement, like a copy of a stock one, is $150, which is probably what I would have gone with if I didn't want to get something better. Right now the price for the Mishimoto is $250, so it's an extra $100. I'm sure if you buy the Ford OEM part from Ford, it's probably going to cost a lot more because it's a factory part. So the reality is the Mishimoto might be the same price as your stock one. My only fear is the width of this guy here. Is that going to cause any issues with fitting it? That I don't know. So now I want to get some measurements, length, width, height, and then some width, and then we'll get some information off that and show you guys. All right, I just took some measurements. Interesting. So the actual physical dimensions, length and width, are exactly the same. 24 inches wide. I believe it's 19 1/4 high. What is very different, though, is the thickness, which is what I thought. The stock one is 1 inch, so you got about a 1 inch thickness on that. The aftermarket one is about 2 inches if you measure here, and it's 2.5 on the cooling. I'm not really sure what that's called, but what really matters is your actual fins. This is where the coolant gets cold. So 2 inches. That effectively, I don't want to say it doubles the cooling area, but theoretically it does, right? Because those fins are twice as long, the same dimensions otherwise, so theoretically you have twice the cooling power. Now, of course, it's not directly proportionate, but I can see why people are getting 30% increases in cooling in that sense. Now, what we want to compare next is I'm going to look over them and see if I can find any differences, so you'll have any issues mounting them or not. So let me check over that and I'll tell you any differences I see. Okay, so I checked over everything and it's a little bit different. Let me show you. So of course all the mounting stuff here is plastic on the stock one, which doesn't make much of a difference. This side here is the side that has the the water inlet and outlet. The one is broken off from the accident, which is fine. So the lower side over there aligns with the lower side over here. It has the same pin mounting. It's in metal now, so that's good. It has this little hook. That's good. These are made out of metal. These are threaded screws. Actually, this one's for a hose. Let me see. Does that have that over there? I actually don't see that on that one. Huh. Interesting. I don't know what that's for. Unless it broke off in the accident, I don't. And it looks like it did. That's funny. Okay, so there's clearly a break there. That would make sense. Okay, everything looks the same so far. The thing that gets me is, so if this side's that, if this side has the water inlets and outlets, we flip it. Flip it really quick. Alright, then if you look at the bottom here, and this could be me being stupid, hopefully you can see that. There's these little pins on both sides. You can see it right here, and then you can see it over there. They're not pins, they're actually like threaded screws, but they look to be like, I don't know how to say this, mounted to it, right? So if they're mounted to it, that makes it hard. Well, let me just explain why that's odd. Let me show you on the other one. So just keep in mind that there's those little posts sticking out that are threaded. Clearly you can put a nut on it or something like that. Now if you look at that same side over here, that would be this side. Right in that same location, there's this. This has a threaded female end. Keep in mind that's a threaded male end. Not really sure how that plays out. If I'm supposed to take that out, there's no real way to grab that and stick it in there. I mean, it has it on both sides, and on the old Radiator, it has it on both sides. So besides that, it having that, I'm not really sure how to handle that. Everything else seems to be the same, of course, besides the major difference in thickness. So that's something that's critical too. So how does it install? Well, that'll be the next video. I'm gonna take this, the air conditioning condenser, and the new fan shroud, and put it all together, and then put it into the car. So let me know what you think as far as the thoughts on this, your thoughts on construction quality, your thoughts on the TIG welds, your thoughts on how they handle the slightly different mounting methods here. I noticed it did not come, the stock one comes with this little rubber, almost like a bushing that fits right on there. The other side might have came off when I installed it. This one does not have that. I don't know if you're supposed to hard mount it or if you're supposed to reuse those things. I don't know. There was no notes about that when I purchased it. That's kind of annoying because if I have to order something, it's going to be another week until I'm able to install it, which I'm not having that. So, let me know what your thoughts are. I think it looks good. I think if I were to buy an OEM one, it would have been about the same price probably, maybe more. So I'm okay with that. Not so sure about the thickness. I'll have to check on that. Hopefully I don't need like a slim fan or something because I did buy the factory one. That will be annoying if I have to sell that. So I imagine it's going to work okay. The installation reviews of people said that it wasn't much trouble. Somebody did mention a mounting change, that it didn't align right or something. So I don't know if they're referring to the issue I found, but I am optimistic. I think it'll be okay. So check out the next video. Probably already there. You can see how it went. I will definitely refer back to this and whether my thoughts were unwarranted or if there were some issues. So make sure you like and subscribe. And something I don't normally say but will be very helpful to us, share this video with your friends and family so that we can build this community. What I want to tell you is my brother and I have these two cars going right now, right? Once these are done, we're going to upgrade them. So those will be continued videos. But then after that, we're not stopping. We're going to go buy new project cars. And we're just going to keep doing this. So you guys, make sure you like and subscribe because then you can maybe have a hand in giving me ideas what you want to see next. I don't know what my next car is. It might be an import. It might be another muscle car. I don't know. I'm up for ideas. I just want to know what you guys think. I want to make sure you guys are following along and sharing this so that we have reasons to keep filming. Because otherwise it'd be a lot easier just to go ahead and do it without videotaping. So go ahead and do all that for me, and I'll see you next time. Peace.